using just a regular deck as usual, nothing strange about that. And you get someone to help you with this. In fact, let me just spread the cards out so you can see them all. Okay, so they are just shuffled mixed cards. I want you to choose a card, and I'm going to go through each card and call it out. And as I touch it, if you get a kind of crackling, a feeling about that, call stop. Okay, so the Jack of Spades and the Two of Clubs, and remember to call stop as I'm touching these: 10 of Diamonds, 8 of Spades, 4 of Spades, what's that, 5 of Hearts, the King of Diamonds, what's this one, the 5 of Clubs, the 2 of Diamonds. That's the card that you want to stop at. Okay, let me just push that forward a little bit. You had a free choice of any of the 52 shuffled cards. What I'd like you to do is, can you cut half the pack here? Okay, we now have 2 piles of cards. In fact, let's just remind ourselves of the card that you stopped at, the 2 of Diamonds. You see, the cards have been shuffled into a random order. Watch, this is magical. You see, if you'd chosen these, and we'll deal them in pairs, if you'd chosen this card, you can see no match. If you'd chosen this one, no match. This one, no match, and this one, and so on and so forth. But let's get to your 2 of Diamonds, the red 2. There it is in this position. The card in exactly the same position in the other half. You picked a red 2. This is also a red 2. Now, most people don't see that as magical. They see it as luck or just a coincidence. But I want to prove that it's more than just luck. You see, before we started, I marked one of these cards. I signed one of these cards. Now, you could have had any of these. You could have had any of these. You could have chosen this one or this one or this one or any of these cards here. Not forgetting these ones here. But what I want you to note is that none of the cards are marked. And I marked it with my signature. There's nothing here. Remember, it was a free choice of any of these cards. You chose the 2 of Diamonds, the red 2. This card in the same position was also the red 2, but lo and behold, it was the only card that I signed at the start. And that goes beyond luck, beyond coincidence. It could possibly just be magic. What you need to do, go through a deck of cards, preferably an old pack or a cheap deck that you're going to ruin, because you need to sign 10 cards. Now, this is where you realise that they didn't have a free choice. It wasn't a free choice of 52 cards. You were forcing a card onto them, one of the 10 cards. Now, these can be any cards, but I would encourage you to include a picture card and some aces in there. And the reason we're doing that is because it's a well-known fact. When someone's given the choice of a playing card, they tend to go for the high-value cards or picture cards. So we deliberately put some of those in as well. So remove any 10 cards. Remember, you don't have to sign these if you don't want to ruin your cards. I've then signed each one of those in the middle, and the reason I've done that is so that when I spread the cards, I can do it so I don't reveal any of the signatures at an early stage. So I've signed those 10 cards. You then go through the pack and you remove the identical colour and value card, the sibling of these. So for example, I've got a black 5 here. I've removed the other black 5, the 5 of clubs. Here I've got the King of Hearts, so I've removed the King of Diamonds. You get the idea. So remove these. You'll also notice I've reversed these so they're in the opposite direction. So they need to be stacked in an opposite direction. Once you've done that, the ones that have got the signature on go at the bottom of the pack, of the face-up pack. The other packet goes on top. So you've now got a stack of 10 cards on top and bottom on there. Now, to disguise the fact, what I'm going to do is from the middle, I'm going to remove any 4 cards and put them on top. I'm then going to take another 4 cards and put them at the bottom. Okay, so that's the stack. You're all ready to go. Now, I know you guys are much better at full shuffles than me, so if you can do a full shuffle, riffle shuffle, etc., go ahead and do that. I don't feel that it needs it. You handle the cards loosely, and when you spread the cards like this, they can see they're mixed. Okay, now you'll notice that as you spread the cards, the 10 cards down here have got the signature on, so don't spread them too much. Okay, but you can spread these ones on there. Now, I like to get them to choose a card by me pointing on there, just to make it different. Now, don't be worried that they're going to go too far. Okay, I've never had this, and you have to remember, by adding the extra 4 cards on there, this stack here is almost a third of the pack. You can control it so that they will stop before you get too deep into the pack. Now, don't forget that the reason I'm calling out these, I'm not just pointing like this, I'm saying the Queen of Clubs, the Jack of Spades. I'm doing it slowly and deliberately because most spectators would rather watch paint dry. So they're going to call stop sooner than later. Trust me, they won't let you call out all 52 cards. So, and say to them, it's important that you call stop when my finger lands on it and you get that feeling. So again, you're putting them under pressure to call stop. If you don't want to do this method, then you might just want to say, just call stop this way. It's up to you. I prefer to have the cards spread out. It looks better in performance. So you start to say, look, I'm going to call out cards, Queen of Clubs, Jack of Spades, 2 of Clubs. What I want you to do is to call stop when you get a feeling when my finger lands on one of the cards. By now, I've already called out these ones. I then say 10 of diamonds. That gets rid of the 4 that we put on top as fillers. Now you've got all these cards until you get down to the ace. By the way, I know that the ace is my last card. Okay, so you then call out these, the 5 of clubs, King of diamonds, 5 of hearts, the 4 of spades. And to kill some time, even kind of think, oh, are they stuck together? The ace of hearts. You're really dragging it out. By now they would have called stop out of sheer boredom. So if I say here the ace of hearts and they say stop, you just push that forward. Now I know some of you are going to be worried about what if they go beyond here. If you're not confident in just having a block of 10 cards, you can do this trick by having 15 or even up to 20 cards in your stack. Just make sure the other 20 cards match card for card. So they've now chosen the ace. What I do is I gather up the cards. At this point, they believe they've had a free choice. They've seen all the cards. I turn them over and get them to cut about half the deck. Now, you've got plenty of cards for them to play with, and it doesn't matter if they don't do a very good cut. Okay, so they cut the cards. You then say, let's just turn this over just to remind us of the card you chose. Now remember, the first 4 cards here and the first 4 cards here are going to be indifferent. They're not part of your stack. So what you can do casually, don't make a big deal out of it, just say, look, if you had chosen this, you would have had this as a pair here, and you can see none of the cards match, and you can go up to 4 of these. And then you just say, I'll tell you what, let's just get down to there. You've shown them enough, they can get the rest of it. You go down, it's totally automatic that this card here is going to match here. You can see that, there it is there. I prefer just to put this here, and I put this across like this, okay, so they can see this. What I'm trying to do is to hide the signature. And then I turn this over and they can see that it's the ace of diamonds. Now, if you prefer, you might want to do some other method. You might want to kind of say, look, this one here matches exactly. You could do it like that if you prefer. I'll leave it up to you. But you're trying to hide the signature. By the way, if you haven't signed any cards, you decided not to ruin a pack of cards, then you could end the trick here and say, isn't that amazing that none of the other cards match, and you can turn these over and go through that they don't match. Don't turn these over because they're signed. That's it. For the next stage, I want to show them the cards. Now, if I gather up these, the first 4 are just those odd ones that are not signed. So I can say, look, remember, you could have had any of these. Now, I marked a card with my signature. Once you've gone this far, you can spread these. Just don't reveal the signatures. And jot them down casually. The other signed ones, the few that you've got left, are here. You can just turn the whole pack over and just say, look, you could have chosen any of these. You're going through all of these cards, and you can even spread the last few, just don't spread them too much. Drop them. At this point, you're telling them you signed a card, you marked a card. Now, you can really go to town on these ones because none of these are signed. So you can say, look, you had any of these. None of them have got my signature on. And the same here. It looks as though they've seen 50 playing cards in full. When you come to here and reveal that this is a signed one, it suddenly dawns on the magic nature of this, the impossibility of not only the 2 cards matching in exactly the same positions, but also that it was the one that you signed. How did they stop on the identical one? I think it's a great trick, and there's several ways of playing it differently. Don't forget to hit subscribe and the notification bell, and I'll see you again soon.